Hey everybody, it's Ron. I'm out here today. Today is October the 28th, 2025, and I'm in my local area. I've decided to stay close to home. I'm approximately 20 miles from my house in an area called the Katusa Wildlife Management Area. I've driven down to an area called the Devil's Breakfast Table, and there's a good reason for that. And I might put the drone up here in a minute and show you the breakfast table, but it's kind of hard to see with this camera, but it's up there on that bluff, right up there on that wall up there. Anyways, you used to be able to make a loop. I could drive from my house. I only live a couple miles from the Peavine Road entrance to Katusa Wildlife Management Area, and I could drive down to this bridge. And this is an old railroad bridge that's down here that crosses Daddy's Creek. Well, several years ago, I can't remember which flood it was, we've had a lot of them, this bridge was damaged. And I'm going to walk out here and show you. You used to be able to drive across it, but you can't do that anymore. And I'm going to be real careful out here because it looks a little rickety. But down here where Daddy's Creek crosses underneath the bridge is where it's damaged. I don't know if they're ever going to replace this or not. This bridge is inside the wildlife management area, so I don't know if they deem it important enough to put a new bridge in or not. But as you can see, we're starting to come into the area where there are boards missing. And I'm going to walk down here just a little bit. My intentions today are to come up here and do some fall photography. Isn't that beautiful? I have a circular polarizer on my Osmo Pocket 3 K&F filters, and it works really well. Okay, this is a video of the area right here, and I'm going to try to do some photographs down here today. That was one of my goals, to come down here and catch the fall colors. And as you can see, it's a bluebird sky day. I was hoping for clouds, but that's okay. It's supposed to get cloudy this afternoon. I'm going to walk out here just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to stay right on this center support. And you can see it's a steel frame bridge, but the decking has really been damaged quite a bit, and I don't know if they're ever going to fix it. It's a beautiful area. So I brought several different cameras with me today. Actually, I only brought two. I brought the Nikon Z8 with the 24-120. I brought the Nikon Z6ii, and I brought the 14-30 and the 50mm lens to go on there if I wanted to use those. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go over there to that side and take you with me and explore that area of the creek there. Boy, I wish there was more clouds in the sky today. Let's walk down here to the creek, to Daddy's Creek, and look at it at creek level. I'll take you down here and show you. There's some nice reflections. Oh yeah, look across there. I need to get my camera out. There's some nice reflections in the water, and the water's kind of ripply a little bit, and having the sun out is really a benefit. So I'm gonna set up and take some photographs right here. Yeah, I really like this, the way this water is rippling right here. .1/80th f8 at ISO 64. 2-second delay. Photograph 8500. I really like that. I do not have any filters on the front of this camera right now. I'm using the Nikon Z8 with the 24-120 f4 S-line lens. This is slowly has become my favorite go-to landscape lens. We're going to swing around this way and get a different shot. There's a nice big rock bluff right up there that's going to be in the frame. That shot there was at 50 millimeters. I'm going to back up to about 35 millimeters. And we're going to adjust the shutter speed. It really looks neat standing here. I may put a circular polarizer just to saturate and then blend the two images in there just to saturate the foliage a little bit more. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to take a shot here at 1/40th of a second, f8 at ISO 64. Now it was photograph 8501. Let me put a polarizer filter on there. So I put my 77 to 82 millimeter adapter ring on. I'm using the Case Wolverine filters. I've had these for a really long time. I have not moved my camera or changed it. I'm just trying to dial in some saturation on the foliage. 1/25th of a second at f8. So now we're gonna, that was photograph 8502. We're gonna take 8501 and 8502 and we're gonna blend them together. You know, I want to keep the water reflection in the photograph, but I wanted to saturate the foliage color just a little bit by using a polarizer. That's pretty cool right here. So if you recall my last video, I talked about losing my tripod at the Shenandoah National Park, but I found my tripod, but I haven't received it back yet. The gentleman is bringing it back to me. He's not bringing it back for a few more days. So today I'm using my Leofoto Ranger LS324C tripod with my Acrotech GP ball head on there. Now I've had this Acrotech ball head for a really long time and it's never given me a lick of trouble. It's probably been the best ball head I've ever owned for landscape type photography. What I'm now is set up on a different composition over here. I still have the circular polarizer on the front, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shot with the polarizer dialed in, then I'm going to undial it and show you both of these photographs. I'm going to go ahead and pull back to 24 millimeters, and I am at 1/20th of a second, f8 ISO 64. And what we're going to do now is dial back the polarizer. And 1/20th, I'm going to leave it 1/20th of a second at f8, even though the exposure is a little bit brighter than the previous one. And I'm going to tell you something, okay? Just looking at the back of the camera, I'm going to show you these pictures, these photographs. I'm going to show you these photographs on the computer right now. But 8503 is the one with the polarizer, and 8504 is the one with the polarizer dialed out. I actually like 8503 better. There's still quite a bit of reflection in the water, even though I've got the polarizer dialed in. But one of the things I did with 8503, if you look at the photograph, I've cut the top of these tall pine trees off the frame, okay? I was trying to reduce the amount of sky. So I'm going to recompose the shot now to include all the trees. I recomposed the shot, and I'm going to dial in the polarizer, put it back in there. And it's going to turn the sky really blue, and that's one reason that it's good to have this to blend. I'm going to go ahead and focus there. And this shot is 1/20th of a second, f8 at ISO 64. I'm about a third of a stop underexposed, which is fine. But at least I got the top of the trees in this time. So this is photograph 8505. Now I'm going to dial the polarizer out a little bit just so I can get the sky that looks more natural. With these polarizers, the sky will turn really dark blue, and I really just want the blue bird color itself. So we'll take another shot here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to blend 8505 and 8506. I like to call out the picture numbers from the camera, so when I'm looking in Lightroom I can kind of keep up with them. That's just a little pro tip there. You know, you'll hear it in the video, but it's easy for me to figure out which photograph I'm working on in this segment of this video. Okay, this first image is with the polarizer dialed in, and then the second image right here does not have the polarizer, and on the third image I'm about to show you right now is the blended of the two images. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over here to where the bridge is and see if I can get some kind of composition with the bridge in the frame. This is what I'm looking at right here. We're going to see if I can come up with something worth photographing and showing you. The sun is really bright now. When I got up this morning, there was clouds. What I'm trying to do here is just capture the bridge, or part of the bridge, and the foliage colors around it. There's a lot of reds and yellows behind it. I'm getting a little bit of the sky, but I think what I'm going to try to do is let me dial in this polarizer. For me, having the polarizer helps me with the saturation. Now I could probably pull these colors out in Lightroom. 1/20th of a second, f8, ISO 64. I'm going to change that just a little bit, and I'm going to go to 1/25th of a second, f8. At ISO 64. It's photograph 8507. It's not really exactly what I want. I need to kind of move over that way, so let me do that real quick. I kind of moved over this way a little bit so I could center myself up on that center pillar of that bridge. One of the things I'm trying to do is keep my sky out of the photograph, but there's a tree on the right hand side. I'm going to shoot this photograph real quick. 1/25th of a second to f8. Let me show you that right now. Photograph number 8508. I can't get the whole tree in the frame without getting some of the sky in there, so I need to kind of maneuver around a little bit. I'm about 65 millimeters on my lens. So let me see if I can come up with some different idea of how I can get that tree in there. I don't think I can because the sky is right behind it. Okay, I pulled back a little bit on the zoom, about 40 millimeters, and there is quite a bit of the sky in there, but there's a few puffy clouds, so that might make for some interest. But what I just noticed is right down there is a rock that would be a pretty cool foreground interest on a photograph. Now I'm going to take the camera down there and set it up with this 24 to 120 lens. I would really like to have the 14 to 30 here to exaggerate that. So let me go down there and set up. This rock right here is what I'm talking about, this big one. I want to use that as a foreground interest. I like how the sunlight is hitting it from the side and showing some of the texture of that rock. So let me see how high, I'm just going to hand hold my camera real quick to see how high I need to have my camera off the ground. I think right about there. So if I let this down, let these legs down, I'll be just about the right height. About something like that. All right. Let me level that off a little bit like that. Like I said, I probably would have liked to have done this with the 14 to 30, but I'm going to try it here with the 24 to 120, see what kind of photograph I can make with this. Okay, one thing I'm going to have to do with this photograph is I'm going to have to focus stack it because the rock is really large in the frame and the bridge is pretty far away. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to focus right now on the rock. Let me show you the composition I'm working on. The front of the camera. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do these focus stack shots. So what I'll do is I'll focus on the rock. I'm at f8, so I'll focus on the rock. I'll focus about a third of the way in, and then I'll focus on the bridge for 3 shots. Sitting here composing a shot, and I heard a kingfisher right back over there. So I'm going to change this. There's some clouds moving in, so that's going to let me have a longer exposure. 1/13 of a second at f8. I'm going to hurry up and take these photographs. I've got the polarizer dialed in, and then we're going to focus 1/3 of the way in, and then we're going to focus on the bridge. So that was 85-12, 85-11, and 85-10. Now, one of the things I'm going to show you I do, so I know when I'm focus stacking and how I can recognize that when I get my photographs into Lightroom. When I start the focus stack series, I'll hold 2 fingers up in front of the lens and take a picture. When I'm finished with that series, I'll hold 3 fingers up like that, and that means I've stopped the focus stack series. Sometimes I'll do a focus stack, but it'll be a bracketed focus stack. So in this case right here, if I did a bracketed focus stack, instead of having 3 images, the foreground, the middle ground, and the background, I would end up with about 9 images to compensate for the bracketed shots. Normally I do a 3-shot bracket with a 1 stop over and 1 stop under. This time I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any bracketed shots right now. So what I'm going to do, so I recognize this, right now I'm going to hold 3 fingers up now because I forgot to hold the 2 fingers up in the beginning. At least I'll know this is the end of that series. So I think I'd like to do one more, but I like to get a little bit lower. So let me move the camera down some. Okay, I have moved the camera down some. Let me show you, okay? And I'm really tight on this rock in front of me. I mean, it is really large in the frame. I want to back up just a little bit because I've got another rock right here, and then there's another set of rocks over there. So I'm getting all this in the frame. Let me adjust my left and right. I mean, there's a lot going on right here. I'm going to leave the exposure at 1/10 of a second. It keeps changing a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm focused on these rocks. These are pretty cool. There's reflection in the water and everything. I'm going to focus about 1/3 of the way in. Now I've got the camera set up so when I touch the screen, it moves the focus point, okay? So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm touching the screen, focus there, and then we're going to focus back on the bridge because that's in the background. Now we're going to hold 3 fingers up and take a picture of those 3 fingers. And we're going to look at those now in Lightroom, 85-18, 85-17, and 85-16. I combined the 3 images to create this one image with the perfect focus stack from front to back. Pretty cool. I really like to back up a little bit. I don't think I need to go get the 14-30. I don't think that's necessary. So I'm going to back the camera up just a hair and move that rock. And let's see what we got here. I really like this tilt screen on the back of the Z8 because it lets you flip it out so you can see better when you're down low. I'm going to turn my display off. There's a lot going on right here. I love these rocks. Love these rocks. This is a cool composition. All right, 2 fingers in front of the lens. And we're ready to go. And then 3 fingers to end the series. 85-23, 22, and 21. Okay, we'll get those in the computer and process those and see what they look like. Look at this composition, 85-21, and then the next one, 85-16, and tell me which composition you like the best. In another composition back here of water, and I'm going to move over back over there. I'm done with this one here. I'm going to go over there now and see what that looks like with the camera. All right, I came over here to look at this, and I'm not really impressed, okay, with a close-up shot of it, but I may take one photograph of it just as a wide angle and try to get the whole scene in there, but it's not really that impressive. It did look pretty good a while ago, but now that I'm here, it doesn't look that great. this is what I should have done, okay, instead of going 500 miles from home. This is definitely less stressful, being closer to home. Definitely more enjoyable right now. So yeah, as we get older, you know, those far away distant places to photograph don't sound as appealing as when we were younger. But anyhow, I'm having fun today. That's the important thing. What I like about the case Wolverine filters, I'm going to show you right here. I got them clipped on my carabiner. Normally I clip it on a belt loop. But it comes with a nice leather case. And I got everything I need inside this pouch. And I carry it with me. Then I only have to take my camera with me and the tripod. Usually I don't have to carry the whole backpack down to where I'm going to go. So this makes it really handy. I'm going to get the drone out now and do a flyover of the area. And I'm going to go ahead and show that in this video so you can see what the area looks like. There's not a soul around, so I definitely will be safe. There's a bunch of trees though, but that's okay. Let's do that right now. I brought both of my drones with me today, but today I've been flying with the Mini 4 Pro, and I've got I got a circular polarizer filter here I'm going to put on the drone. I've never tried before, and see if it makes a difference. So this polarizer does not cut out as much light as my ND filters do, so I've had to adjust the shutter speed, which I don't like to do. I'm shooting at 1/400th on the shutter. I'm just going to put the shutter on auto and leave the ISO. Actually, I don't want to do that. So I had to I'm going to have to shoot with a different shutter speed for this video, but let's give it a try.
Home point updated.
Now I see an opening in the trees right here in front of me, and I believe I'm just going to fly right out there. Okay, we are going to move on to find some other photography to do. One thing I do want to mention right now is take your time. Don't get in a big hurry. Keep up with your equipment where it's at, in your pocket, whatever. When you get back to your vehicle, make sure you have everything with you. Turn around and look. Okay, like I'm going to do right now. I'm going to look behind my truck, and I'm going to go over here and look on this side of the truck. But I made a commitment to myself that I was going to start doing that, okay, when I was on location. Before I left, I was going to look around to make sure that I got everything back to the vehicle, because that was a very scary situation, losing that tripod.